to the TCO. I am the Corrupted Otaku, and I'm going to be bringing you basically my review of Yu-Yu Hakusho Spirit Detective for the Game Boy Advance, alright? Alright, so you could actually look at the back of this. Let me do this real quick. It says you can play as Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kumara, Hiei, Botan, and Keiko. You only get to play as Botan and Keiko one time. They basically have their own missions. I think you get to play as Botan maybe twice, but you only get to play as Keiko once. And they're relatively short missions. There's not a whole lot going on for those particular characters within the game within itself. Yes, you can also play as, you mostly play as Yusuke throughout the entire game, obviously. You do get to touch a little bit with Kuwabara, Komura, and Hiei as well. It's basically kind of like a hack and slash or somewhat of a beat 'em up type thing, 2D, obviously, and ultimately, you know, it follows along the lines of the story for Yu Yu Hakusho Spirit Detective, or I should say Yu Yu Hakusho Ghost Files. The anime series is what it basically follows. Overall, I thought that the level design, even though it is 2D, I thought it was relatively cheaply done. You know, there were certain areas where I was in it and I was like, this just doesn't really feel like, you know, it's Yusuke's world within itself. It doesn't feel like it's Yu Yu Hakusho because the level design just really didn't fit all that well together, in my personal opinion, when it comes to this 2D realm. Now, granted, you are somewhat limited into what you can create within that 2D realm, you know, pixel-wise, etc., but ultimately, I thought that some of it was just, you know, a little lacking, especially like the city, you know, it just really didn't feel like his city, you know. I actually started questioning, I don't think this is in this location, corresponding to the anime, but you know, all things aside of being picky, it's not too bad. It's a relatively short game. You're more than likely be able to finish it in approximately, you know, I'm going to have to go maybe 8-12 hours, depending on how dedicated you are, maybe even less if you're extremely dedicated. And, you know, like I said, it follows the story, so you really can't judge the story because it pretty much follows the Yu Yu Hakusho story. So, basically, if you haven't watched the Yu Yu Hakusho series, I'm not really going to spoil it with this game because it does somewhat follow it. But ultimately, I did find the overall story enjoyable. I found the concept enjoyable. Like I said, the only real issue that I had with this particular game is that, you know, some of the level designs really weren't there. There's also this ability where you can unlock this tournament type thing at the end of the game once you've actually beaten it. Unfortunately, it's a little lacking. Basically, you go through and you can fight various characters that you've already fought within the game. And it just, to me, I think it would have been a lot better if they would have allowed you to actually select a different character. But during this tournament that you unlock, you're always playing as Yusuke. You don't get to really, like, kind of throw it up. Maybe play as, you know, like Kuwabara or Kamar or Hiei or anything of that nature. You're pretty much, you know, doing that. Oh, wait, no. I think if I remember correctly, excuse me, it's not Yusuke. You play as his sensei during the tournament that you unlock. You play as his sensei. I forget her name. The old grandma. You play as her, and basically it's just a rinse-repeat type thing. You know, there's really nothing that changed, nothing spectacular. So, you know, even though it's something extra that you unlock, it's not that great within itself, you know. Overall, you know, I enjoyed it for what it was worth. It was, you know, a good, fun time to just kind of quickly jump back into the world that is Yu Yu Hakusho within the 2D realm. Just a little bit graphic flaws, you know, obviously a little bit mechanical flaws within the concept of the extra tournament that you unlock. I thought that it would have been nice to have a little bit more features to go with it. So overall, you know, if you enjoy Yu Yu Hakusho the series, I would recommend you picking this up. I mean, you might find it somewhat entertaining. If you don't really care for it, then you're probably not going to be really there. If you're a graphics whore, because we gotta conquer those people as well eventually, then this game is not more than likely not going to appeal to you. But you know, I got this relatively cheap, brand new on eBay. Pretty good pickup if you ask me, and a pretty good game all around. You know, it does have its flaws just like everything else. So overall, you know, I did enjoy this for what it was worth. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Yu Yu Hakusho Spirit Detective for the Game Boy Advance, which was developed by Atari. And I hope to see you next time on the TCO.